Donc on est parti YouTube, on est parti donc pour la mission de KAZUHA KAEDEHARA. Donc voilà, c'est tout de suite dans notre petit let's play de donc Genshin Impact. Donc la capsule, tu peux dire bonjour YouTube. Et capette aussi si vous voulez. Là on a plein dedans. Let's go. On va voir un peu la petite parcelle d'histoire de Monsieur KAZUHA. C'est Rakfi. Salut à toi. C'est quoi cette épée? Euh... 55, 56 je crois. AR 55 56.
Have you ever met someone by the name of KAEDEHARA Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
L'aide un peu loin de beaucoup de recherche d'énergie ou pas? Bah regarde sur le site que je t'ai envoyé, poteau. Là, je connais pas tous les sets par cœur. Toi, j'ai recommencé le jeu il y a qu'un mois et demi, donc avec un nouveau compte, donc j'ai vraiment pas tous les sets en tête par cœur. Let's go. Voyons voir ce que ça va donner. Attends, j'en profitais. M'allonger un peu dans mon fauteuil. Hop là. J'ai tellement de fils entre les jambes, c'est horrible. Faut que je fasse un peu de managing de tous mes fils là. C'est pas cette, c'est qu'est-ce qu'elle a besoin de rechange. C'est pas nécessaire. Bah, de toute façon, comme je dis, sur le quand je parle de 7, moi je parle du build complet. Sur le site, toi, ils te disent qu'ils lui en font un petit peu quand même, toi. Sur le site que je t'ai envoyé, poteau.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the...
Oh, so you...
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso... Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you. Guess we'll go pick...
All right then. I'll just stay...
Alors. J'oublie que c'est pas des mètres aussi rapides que sur Scale Mode, ça. Scale Mode, c'est 1000 mètres, tu le fais en 2 secondes, mais alors là, si tu te TP pas, t'es mort. Et toi, Rockfi, tu es le combien sur le jeu? En général, c'est quand les nouvelles têtes arrivent, on leur demande toujours votre zone. C'est sur le jeu, la zone préférée. Sur le Discord, on a un salon par région. Toi, si t'aimes Inazuma, nanana, toi, c'est tes régions préférées. Et ton top 5 de persos. Tes 5 persos préférés. Toi, d'ailleurs, comme ça, je sais pas si je t'avais demandé ça.
Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing the tensions.
Bon, là, en général, toi, tu me dis la région, donc la partie de la map que tu préfères. Donc, Sumeru, Mandast, Teyvat, Sumeru, Mandast, la nouvelle zone, donc le Vallée Shongyun, Fontaine ou Inazuma, et Liyue. Et ton top 5, tes 5 persos préférés. Qui n'est pas obligatoirement des persos méta, c'est pas une question de puissance, c'est vraiment ceux qui tiennent le plus à cœur, toi.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the All. However, would I be correct to assume that this...
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. With the KAEDEHARA clan's reputation and occupation restored, the KAEDEHARAs will be bladesmiths once more. And your wanderings will finally come. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the almighty Shogun's
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a... Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of KAEDEHARA. And the...
I sense some hesitation. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace...
Malicious rumors? Oh, we heard on the way here.
Non, là, tu peux écrire dans le chat, là. Tu peux écrire dans le chat, Podo.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi...
Toi, sinon, je t'aurais précisé écrire dans le Discord.
What?
That is correct.
This is just one of many similar rumors. But perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me...
This is precisely why I encourage...
J'adore l'esthétique de KAEDEHARA.
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment.
Yikes!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for... No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training.
Ah, et t'as Taego qui a lancé son stream, que si tu veux aller lui dire bonjour. Tu dis bonjour ma part en même temps, si tu veux.
These techniques came to form something of a KAEDEHARA sword art. Focused on those forms are quite...
All the more reason to watch.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately.
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. And I will also need... I will first join the traveler in investigating the one who attacked him. Then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Allez, on va voir un peu ce que ça donne.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has. « 200 mètres, donc ça c'est à côté. » Une fois la mission de KAEDEHARA finie, on pourra avoir accès à la mission intermède des archontes. Et on pourra commencer à attaquer surtout tranquillement Fontaine. Tiens, il manque combien de temps encore? Une journée 19h, donc demain, mardi soir alors. Mardi soir, il y aura les nouveaux portails. J'ai hâte de voir ça. Fontaine, ta zone préférée, DIA, Furina, Yemiko, Yelan. Ok, je vois les têtes, ok.
You are too kind.
Oh, Mr. KAEDEHARA, to be honest with you, some of them were up.
Furina est sympa, mais je suis pas le plus fan de Yemiko, j'adore. En plus, le côté renard 9 queues, toi, c'est toujours très sympa. Yelan, c'est qu'elle dé sous le C'est celle qui a le dé sous la gorge, non? La mère de Xenkyu. Et Deya, bah Deya je l'ai, donc ça va.
You are every bit this.
You flatter me.
You are much too humble. Oh, actually, there was one strange. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During time.
All right then. Recently, two people. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the.
Amenoma.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amen. Two grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this.
Understood. Though it's.
Sure.
Thank you, Ryuji.
Attends, moi le top 1. Ah bah le top 1 de toute façon t'as le skin, j'ai le skin sur mon avatar.
All the best.
Toi si je dois donner mon top 5, bon déjà dans les zones, bah j'adore, je dirais un mélange de Sumeru et Inazuma. Parce que j'adore le Japon féodal et j'adore le côté que Sumeru et le côté très elfique, toi forêt, plus le côté désert très égyptien, toi, ça fait un double biome en même temps. Dans les persos que j'aime bien, moi tu dirais toi, Wriothesley c'est le top 1, Neuvillette en top 2. Xiao en top 3. En top 4, alors top 4 c'est un double top 4 parce que je mettrais Razor comme c'est un loup avec Sino parce que les deux se ressemblent énormément donc c'est un peu difficile de faire un choix. Et en top 5 j'irais Zhongli, j'adore le côté le système de combat de Zhongli et tout, et j'adore aussi le système de combat de Jibufi, non, de Heitam. Toi j'irais entre Heitam et Zhongli, c'est deux que j'aurais peut-être du mal à choisir en top 5 toi. Mes deux préférés seraient un duo, toi, Neuvillette avec Wriothesley, toi. Ce serait un sacré duo déjà. T'en as un, il te fait quand même à dos, l'autre les congés à coups de poing dans la gueule. Ça passe.
Yes, the KAEDEHARA and Amen. After I returned to Inazuma, I visit. Let me. The techniques of blade. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, as an example, the Amenoma art strives to. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have As for the art,
that's right. For only a blade thus.
Indeed, you are.
Tu fais quoi les histoires des persos, justement?
You overestimate. But let's get. We hope to assist with.
Bah Xiao, moi c'est son histoire qui m'a permis de le tester, parce que tu peux combattre avec. Neuvillette il est dans beaucoup des modes histoire là. Il est souvent dans les events aussi. Là-bas d'ailleurs, le dernier event, il y était, Neuvillette et Wriothesley. Et Wriothesley et les patates, quoi. Les patates qui congèlent, c'est tellement stylé, quoi.
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Hyman doesn't.
Yes, it sounds as if something happened. Let's pay a visit.
Nagato, ta maison elle est où? Elle est au-dessus, hop, on remonte. Là, t'as même. J'ai même pu débloquer justement, toi, l'histoire de Xianyun, toi. Parce que ça, par exemple, on pouvait la débloquer pendant le portail où elle était là. Une fois que le portail est fait, il faut taper la fin en fait des quêtes Archon. Donc j'ai profité, comme j'ai des pièces d'avance, pour acheter directement celle de Xianyun, comme ça on pourra la faire même à n'importe quel moment, toi. Mais comme celle de Kazuha bloque le scénario de base, il faut le faire. D'ailleurs, je sais pas si vous avez vu, il y a eu un petit bug sur YouTube. On avait programmé ces vidéos quasiment de la semaine. Et on s'est retrouvé avec 7 vidéos d'un coup qui se sont mis en public. Donc je ne sais pas sur quel bouton à la con j'ai appuyé, mais en gros ça m'a publié tout le let's play entier sans vidéo entre temps quoi. Donc bon, maintenant qu'il est publié, je le laisse comme ça toi. Mais fais chier.
He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but everything was fine when we first got married.
Uh-oh.
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons, even as debt collectors. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like, I'm happy he has a hobby and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell it...
Whoa!
And that led to an arc.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with... After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to... Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale of...
At first, I assumed but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting it.
Maybe he was feeling the...
I don't know. He just disappeared. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. As long as he's willing to turn over...
Bah toi, c'est pareil. Ton Navia, je l'ai depuis le début que j'ai commencé le jeu. Ça fait partie des premiers persos que j'ai eu. Je crois que c'est le troisième 5 étoiles que j'ai eu. Donc c'est vrai que là, j'aimerais bien trouver justement la possibilité d'avoir d'autres persos qui puissent me faire servir de main DPS pour alterner un peu, toi. Le gameplay de Navia est sympa, mais genre au bout de 40-50 heures, au bout d'un temps, on a marre du coup de pompe.
Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while.
That is the most likely conclusion based on everything we know. What started as a disagreement over the... However, in this case, only one of the parties would have started the fire. That would make... If this is indeed what happened, and the innocent... One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is... Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear. The more I ponder it, the more right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing...
Darn!
Let's keep going.
Le côté sauterelle qui t'énerve. J'aime bien, ça change un peu comme ça.
Okay.
Let's head out of this...
My apologies. Kamore Tea House only accepts guests.
Voilà, parce que t'as le même problème que moi, c'est comme tu l'as eu dès le début, en fait tu t'es lassé du fait de l'utiliser, quoi.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the...
Oh! This must be another one of those, as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still... It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring... We should remain vigilant. And...
Tatarigami, qu'est-ce donc?
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely
Ça.
coming. The source of the judging from the...
C'est le côté gameplay qui change, toi. Voilà, clairement, j'ai testé le...
Mrs. Nagato.
They
l'event là. C'est ça qui permet de choisir tes persos et tout. Et c'est cool parce que ça permet justement de pouvoir tester de nouveaux persos et donc de faire des combats avec. Ça c'est cool quoi.
Step back. I'll open the door and take. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer. You needn't worry.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around.
Ah d'accord, peut-être ça fume noir. C'est tellement subtil qu'il y a des moments où il y a du mal à voir le truc quoi.
From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance.
Bah j'espère que je perdrai pas mon 50-50 toi. Que là toi j'ai les moyens d'avoir une tentative. Donc le 50-50 là que je vais faire, mais c'est tout quoi.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Bah vu que j'ai l'autre là, comment il s'appelle Zenyun qui s'est incrusté dans mon combat alors que j'étais en train de... J'ai perdu mon 50-50, je fais bah nickel, comme ça au moins j'aurai un 0 assuré. Je monte ma pitié au moins à 20-30, paf, Zenyun qui tombe, je fais putain non. Je suis content parce que j'ai quand même les deux persos, mais bon, fait chier quoi. C'est pas ce que je voulais.
It's, by the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. Well, let's take... According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he was not only whatever traces there may have been of his fate. Yes.
On verra bien.
If Amenoma Yuya...
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised for a practitioner of all the clues that at first seemed... I have a hypothesis that if it...
Wait, you figured it out?
I believe so. On with the search. We must...
Why here?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may... Show yourself!
KAEDEHARA Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! What's your problem, huh? What could you
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Amenoma Yuya, but what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it... Whoa! Sure!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to... The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind.
Attends, on fait le problème de la minier.
Recently, using
Mec,
the
tu m'as
sale as
envoyé,
a
je
means
peux
to
pas te...
affect, or rather, as a means
T'inquiète,
to
pas de soucis.
occupy.
You're sharper many years as a descendant.
I presume it has something...
Indeed. He was a blade, and sure enough,
Tu cherches quoi par rapport toujours à l'aéro là?
all of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill,
J'essaie de regarder avec mon téléphone.
culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own.
Pas de cette capsule.
In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So,
L'aéro, c'est le roman, c'est ça qui demande le moins 120% pour l'aéro.
Typical of the time in which I was born, after the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
Ah. So Amenoma Yuya was not. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? When they got tired or injured or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to... After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. And by your KAEDEHARA KAZUHA, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Now, give your body over to me.
Wind strategy.
Submit to me. Join me and sever that divine light.
Ring cutter.
We shall rewrite history.
Ça, c'est fait.
Stand in my way, or I will strike you down too.
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but by any means necessary and any medium available. I shall
Your fighting style. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as...
Really? You can tell...
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements, if you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know, bear in that regard. Why would I ever need you?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cur... Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato...
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity. Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just...
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, how could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of
Silence! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers... I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self... It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the KAEDEHARA clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state.
What? Surely...
Very well. Then find yourself. Once we have dealt with them, we shall...
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you...
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions.
But...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now.
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as I will.
What should we do next?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense...
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the... Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by...
All right.
What about Amenoma?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own conscience.
Are we sure this is a good... Okay, fine.
Téléportation. Là, c'est dessus. C'est encore celle de dessus. Je me demande si ça peut doit être la base où avec Shogun on a affronté la famille Kojo là. Justement pour savoir qui était le prochain chef. Je crois que c'est la même base. On va en profiter pour prendre les deux ressources qui sont là en même temps. Bah c'est ça, c'est bien là. Let's go. Allons péter du Rhin.
Leave everything on this journey to me. The wind knows me. As one with wind and cloud. One with nature.
C'est vrai que pouvoir rassembler tout le monde avec son impact, c'est stylé quand même.
You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, let's keep going.
Bah déjà, si elle s'adapte à ton rythme, c'est bon signe, Kaede. Ouais, coffre. D'ailleurs. Non, je suis bloqué à 70. Faut que je monte ces deux-là à 80.
Let's get down to business. The wind knows me. There's more. Finally. Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night into the wind.
There's a very
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade, he cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting,
But what would that do to
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up. He's still
Cheap tricks.
one with nature.
Fall before me.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call. One with nature.
Alors j'en suis où?
It looked like you were really...
Yes.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere...
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you... Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi. Much less, maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Ina, it barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you...
Here they are. Take them down.
Where do they keep coming? Yup. We can have...
Don't worry. I'll use my... It's just more of the same.
The wind knows me.
One with nature.
It's over.
You fought way better with your...
You are a true KAEDEHARA in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly no one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be...
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor. Yours is...
Actually, this is... Forging and this blade has skill.
T'as réussi, Capsule? Nickel.
There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. Though you tried to I resisted its... I feel a great sense the moment you embarked on this journey. You lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
Okay.
Gave me everything. How could I possibly... I said to him, do not worry. How could I go...
Aww,
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moon. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to...
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred. He felt intense regret, so he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard. That all he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith. That they were...
So that, but after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities. Yes, time would not wait or stop. He seems to have calmed down.
N'hésite pas à faire un coucou de ma part.
When I look back, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill the darkness. Not only did I...
You are finally seeing...
Since we agreed, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his... So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of my...
Hey! Now you're at it!
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of...
His attitude hurt. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give it...
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance to prove my fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next, you are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle.
Oh?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and...
I see. He used my body. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim in this.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't... In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of...
Alors, voyons voir le vœu de la miss. Pas de la miss, de l'épée.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clan. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even now. Still. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art. KAEDEHARA.
Successor of Amenoma art. Amenoma Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor.
Into the wind.
One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night. The wind knows me. It's fine. Into the wind.
Ok. Je vais pas tarder non plus que... Je suis comme avec l'attaque, c'est avec les cachets que j'ai commencé à prendre depuis hier soir. Je suis lessivé. Yes, I.
Thank you for the although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has come.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished. There are a few things that I shall leave him to.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your It is too late.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has... I beseech you. Please.
Yes. I too trust Mr. KAEDEHARA to do the...
Thank you, successor of Ame no...
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want?
I'm not sure.
L'histoire de Kazuha. En gros, il y a une épée qui a été forgée à Shinezeya, la nouvelle zone de glace, qui a traversé le monde entier pour venir se battre. Le problème, c'est qu'en venant, on traverse le monde entier. En gros, elle s'est chargée d'une aura maléfique. Et elle a perdu le sens, en fait, même de sa création, qui était juste de faire des champs de bataille, d'être une lame digne, entre guillemets, quoi. Et en gros, bah, Kazuya l'a pris dans ses mains et en gros a combattu avec elle pour pouvoir purger en fait cette partie maléfique jusqu'à ce qu'elle devienne l'épée qu'elle est aujourd'hui. Et le problème c'est que le temps qu'on la retrouve et tout, bah, l'épée elle-même a tué pas mal de monde à travers la possession d'autres personnes.
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that controls the human... Considering their forging philosophy, but I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency...
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade...
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment. He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that I have decided... Thank you. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
À forger.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable.
Quasiment, ouais. Parce que je ferme les yeux, toi il a les yeux fermés. Et dès que je les yeux, et les yeux grands. Le problème c'est que j'ai tellement de poches sous les yeux qu'il a tendance des fois à croire que mes yeux sont entrouverts, quoi.
Nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by KAEDEHARA hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the KAEDEHARA clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I am ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsuru This name.
Ouais, ça va, c'est que si je ferme un œil sur deux, c'est ferme les deux.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why his consciousness will disappear forever.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to
Seems like he really
the same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination. Speaking for myself, I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just as the sight of those who fought to your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps I will continue to support you from...
Wait!
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about... And
C'est
it's
ça.
also time to give him a
Et maintenant, faut que je me retape la route. Il y a un petit tracking aussi au niveau des yeux. Toi, si je regarde à gauche, à droite, il a tendance à bouger un peu plus ses yeux, toi, qu'au milieu, toi. Le tracking suit quand même le truc, quoi. Donc c'est quand même ça, bien fait, ce bordel, toi. Ça, on y a pensé, ouais. On a déjà parlé il y a pas longtemps, justement, qu'il y a une tenue spécifique à chaque région, toi.
Wow, you sure kept...
Then we need...
Il n'y a pas juste un code de couleur sur les anneaux, toi.
Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also and so, it looks like I will likely continue with...
I see.
The KAEDEHARA clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya.
You misunderstand. That was most...
I am aware, but I still desire to
Very well, I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate...
Great.
Where will you travel to?
I'll probably take to... As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Après, compliqué ou pas, dans tout cas, c'est un truc qui aurait été cool à faire tout court, quoi. Attends, si, ils ont quand même filé l'épée. Non, sans deck. Lorsqu'une attaque chargée ou plongeant touche un ennemi, elle déclenche une rafale de Mistral, faisant des dégâts de zone équivalent. Putain. Putain, je m'attendais pas à ce que ce soit vraiment une épée qu'ils offrent avec la fin de la quête. En plus, elle est jolie, épée. Voilà, montée niveau 20. Là, je suis content, toi. Clairement, je suis content. Et bah YouTube, on va couper là pour cette vidéo. Et les gars, on va faire un petit raid chez Yeko. Comme je disais, bah moi je suis quand même bien fatigué. En fait, moi je le savais, mais je voulais pas spoiler. Bah t'as bien raison. Parce que je suis quand même crevé avec mes médocs que je suis obligé de prendre. Donc, on va faire une petite pause là, sachant que de base c'était pas prévu que je stream ce soir. Là, c'était un bonus. On va faire un petit raid chez Tata Echo. J'espère en tout cas que ça vous aura plu. Bon, je vous dis même à la prochaine. C'était Fenrir. Ciao les grands.
Surtout partagez, likez et oubliez.